Hi, this is Carrie Mubarak at wooingnature.life. This is the Art of the Deck, Wooing Nature's flip through and review with the art and the artist in mind. This is something that we do every once in a while when we run across a really great deck with some fabulous artwork attached to it. Then we want to feature the art and feature the artist and give them a little credit for the work that they do. I'm a visual reader, and for those of you who are visual readers and who really like to get taken away intuitively in the image that we find, then this is definitely the flip through for you. So the deck that I am featuring is the King Solomon Oracle cards. Found these on a fluke on a website called KabbalahInsights.com. And after I took a look at what was there and I looked at the artwork, I really fell in love with these. Of course, I always say I fall in love with them because I'm only going to show you the ones that I've fallen in love with anyway. But I fell in love with the artwork. I thought it was extremely whimsical and childlike, and it definitely gives that energy. The other thing is if you go on KabbalahInsights.com, she has cards. She has the King Solomon Oracle cards. There's another one called the 72 Names. There's a number of different kinds of Oracle cards that you can order through that website. But then she also has these really unique divination tools that are very whimsical and childlike and fun, I would think, to be able to kind of play around with. There's a wheel, and you spin the wheel, and you look at the image, and then the image connects to an oracle of some sort. And then there's these little coins, and then she has one for lovers, and looks like little heart cards. It's just adorable and really brings out the child in you, which I think is connected to the tradition that this comes from. So this is a Kabbalah deck. It's connected to the system of teachings of the Kabbalah. And so the images that are here, if you know anything about the Kabbalah, as I go through the flip through, I'll point some of those things out, but those people who are familiar may even be able to see some of those teachings and some of the symbolism in the cards themselves. So I was really impressed with her array of tools, and I was also impressed with the art. And so we'll talk a little bit about her and her background, and then we'll get ready for the flip through. So Orna Ben-Shoshan was born in Israel. She lives in Israel now. She spent some time in the United States, I think a little over a decade in the United States, creating art. She is an oil painter, and she also does digital art as well. And you can see all of that on her website, benshoshan.com, and I will leave all of this in the description if you want to follow the links to that. So the KabbalahInsights.com is where you can find the divination tools, the cards, and the decks. But then if you want to look at all of her artwork, you can go on her website at benshoshan.com. I also found her on Etsy. So if you go to Etsy and then type in Orna Ben-Shoshan, you'll be able to find her shop, which is actually where I was able to order some of the materials. There was some issues being able to, or I experienced some issues ordering directly from Kabbalah Insights. So when I found Etsy, I was able to place that order with no problem. So if you're looking to buy the deck, and if you like the deck, then I recommend you find Orna Ben-Shoshan's work on Etsy, or try Kabbalah Insights if it works for you. It could be just me and my inability to figure out what's going on with technology. So check out both, and whatever it is that you're able to work through, then you can work through that. So she is a self-taught artist. She was not formally trained, and when you see the work, that's really going to be surprising to you, because her use of color and space and just the images themselves, where things are placed, all of that is to me indicative of somebody who has been well trained. What she has said is that all of these works are channeled, that she sees them I guess when she's in meditation or whatever, she sees the entire image. And then once she sees the entire image, then she begins to do the work and she starts painting. So she is a metaphysician into metaphysics. She's also into the Kabbalah. We'll talk a little bit about that on the flip through. For those of you who are familiar with the ancient teachings of the Kabbalah, you will probably notice some of the symbolism in her drawings. But for others of us, it's just, it's just a great read and a beautiful read at that. All right, I think I've gotten through anything. There was one quote if you go on a website, there was an article by Michel Zilberman, and he said that having an Orna Ben-Shoshan painting on your wall is like having a window to another dimension, and I definitely agree with that. So I'm going to show you these beautiful images, and we'll just kind of talk through them a little bit. We'll go through them one by one. Hopefully you can see this well. But as I mentioned, there is just this incredible color and use of color. Color means a lot to me as a reader because there are certain colors that bring about certain images and certain feelings for me. So I don't always have to have color, but if I've got a deck with color in it and the color is then meaningful, then that is even better. That makes it even better. Oh, that's better. I had to fix my light so you can really see this. So when I look at this one and I see the blue and I see the green, there's this marriage of heaven and earth here. These colors for me represent a level of commitment to community and to, whatever it is that you've been assigned to, whatever your purpose is. So I see this woman as kind of being connected, heaven and earth, receiving information from heaven, being able to manifest it on earth, and it being about her purpose. And then if you look a little closer, this purple person here, again, the color in purple meaning royalty, or even meaning the higher chakras or the upper chakras. And so here this person is with a hat, and I hope you can see it's like a hat with fruit in it, and so he's just like giving her the fruit, which I think is a really powerful message here. And then she has something on her head here too. Also, this background, you see the pillars, the 4 pillars here, which is about structure. Again, looking at how we manifest things and how things are manifested. So this connection between duty and purpose and being given the resources that one needs in order to carry out a mission that's really delivered from heaven down here on planet Earth. All of that. And then there's the upside down tree, which is a symbol of the tree of life, which also connects it to the Kabbalah. Again, like I said, the symbolism, some of you who are familiar with this tradition may see it right away. For others of you, if you're not into Kabbalah, don't worry. You know what I'm saying? This is still a nice deck to be with because we have the number system. So those of you who are into astrology can pull and draw from that. You can certainly draw from the images because the images are just completely magical. But this is the special feature of this deck are these symbols here. Okay, so here is on each one of these decks there are numbers of symbols, but on many of them there are these Solomon seals. And not Solomon seal the herb, but if you need Solomon seal the herb, go ahead and get it. But these are the seals of Solomon. It was said that King Solomon, being one of the wisest kings, had signet rings or had these symbols, and using the symbols were magical, and it allowed him to be able to do some of the things that he did when he was reigning over his kingdom. And so the symbols, the unfortunate thing I think about this deck is that they don't include the meaning of those symbols in this book. I think if they did, that would make this like a perfect thing, especially for people that don't. What they do have in the book is their intentions for the cards or the reading of the card, and they break that down per each card according to the situation, the person, the advice, and then if the image comes in or if the card comes in inverted. So there is a a upright and a reverse orientation to these cards, and they do encourage you to flip the cards so that there are upside down, reverses and upright positions in each card. So again, it has in the book, it has each card, its basic meaning. It outlines this according to the situation, the person. So if you're talking about a person, the advice that they're giving you, and then if the card comes in inverted. But they do not have the symbols for what these symbols mean. So you'll have to go online and check those out. Not too hard to find. If you do, type in Solomon's symbols or Solomon's seal symbolism, then something should come up, and you can match the symbol and the symbol's meaning for deeper meditation. These symbols can be used as reflections for meditation. So if you're pulling one of these cards and one of them stands out as being particularly important to you, then you can connect that way, just through pure meditation, just through meditation alone. And they're good for that. They're good for the meditation. Traditionally, in my understanding, is if you really wanted to activate the magic of these symbols, then you would draw these symbols on a piece of paper or that kind of thing. But if you don't know how to write Hebrew or Aramaic, because I think this may be Aramaic or some other kind of symbolism related to angels, is my understanding. So these inscriptions here are related to angels. So if you know about these inscriptions, that just unlocks another level to these cards for you. So as you can see, there's just layer upon layer upon layer of meaning here. If you know Kabbalah, then you can pull the symbolism from the image in the card. Of course, if you don't know that, you can also glean your own image feeling and symbolism from the card. You've got the Solomon seals and the inscriptions for the angels. You got numerology, and then of course you have these gorgeous images of Orna Ben-Shoshan. So I'm gonna flip through a little more quickly just so you can see these. Some of the images you'll see have, I call these the hanger heads. I don't know. Some of them don't have feet. That kind of thing. Again, that is my understanding that correlates with some of the symbolism from the Kabbalah as well. I don't know Kabbalah as well as I know other systems, so these are really new for me. But as I said, look at these, these blue hats. I just love them, and then their bodies are kind of invisible, but yet they have these covers that it's just, I don't know, it just really takes your imagination to another place. Yep. So I really enjoy looking at these. I've been spending some time with them to come up with different ways to use them in a reading. I have been working on a Tree of Life spread with these, which was very, very intense. And, but there are spreads in the back of the little booklet, 3-card spreads, some basic spreads in the back of the book if you want to use that. I've also gotten some great readings by just pulling one card in the morning before starting your day. There are testimonials on the website, on the Ben-Shoshan website, about people who have had these incredible experiences from spending time either with her or with her paintings or with the cards themselves. I myself have done some meditation on the symbols and had some powerful readings from that with a powerful impact as well. So I can attest to that. But it's just, they're just beautiful, beautiful cards. Now, she has another deck that they recommend that you use these with. That's the 72 Names deck. So if you look at Kabbalah Insights, you can find that one, or you can probably also find that one on Etsy. but they said that this one can be paired with the 72 names for a more intense insight, or for more intense insight if you need it. Or and then they were saying also that the 72 names have a tie-in with these angelic writings. So I was not aware of the Solomon seals before I got these cards. Had heard of Solomon seal the herb, but hadn't heard heard of these Solomon seal symbols. I do remember as a kid or somewhere in the process of me growing up hearing about his signet rings, and so I wondered if these were the symbols on the signet rings. Um, but they kind of remind me in Vodun, they have the veve where they draw or they take, well, there's a powdered substance that they create the symbols, and the symbols connect them to the spirits. And so this, when I read about these Solomon seals and the fact that people draw them in order to connect to the angels and connect to the spirits that correlate to the meaning of the card, really reminded me of the Veve in Vodun. So it's amazing to me how these traditions, even though they're, far, far away from each other, we're talking about Israel and the Kabbalah and the Middle East, and then we talk about a little island um, in the Caribbean, and you see how some of these practices are so very similar. All right, so 36 cards in this deck. This is the last one. I encourage you to take a look at those websites and pay attention to what's happening with Orna Ben-Shoshan. I don't think she's done painting. I had a really great time looking at some of the other prints and art prints that she has available. It's just some beautiful work and a very different way of looking at it. So this has been the Art of the Deck. I hope you enjoyed that. I highly encourage you to purchase the King Solomon Oracle cards and or any of the other wonderful tools that are available through the website. And if you are interested in having a reading with these cards or any other cards that we may use, or any of the other divination methods that we use at Wooing Nature, we'll be glad to hook you up with that. So just reach out to info@wooingnature.life, and we hope that you will tune back in for another Art of the Deck, or take a look at the feed for other arts of the decks. And hope you have a great life as always, and you're having a wonderful day.